It's called the Veskanda, or just Can to its friends. In the mid-1980s, this car and the Cosworth-powered Cadicia of Bapramano staged a brief but magical revival of big banger sports car racing in Australia. Built by K&A Engineering in South Australia, the people responsible for many of Australia's fastest sports sedans, the Veskanda dominated the Australian motorsport landscape for many years. Only recently have many of its outright lap records been broken. The spectacular car made a rare appearance at the 2007 Historic Sandown, and the man behind the wheel was former Formula 5000 sports sedan driver John Briggs. John, you're running a very famous car and a very, very fast car, the Veskanda. Tell us the history of the Veskanda.
It was built by K&A Engineering in Adelaide in the mid-80s and driven by John Bow to a couple of Australian sports car championships. Competed in a round of the world sports car series here at this circuit, Sandown in I think 86. Was running quite well against the Porsches and the factory Benzes, and it's a very quick car. It was well ahead of its time. It's a ground effects car, very well built.
It held a number of lap records for a long, long time. Some of them have only just recently been, beaten. What sort of potential is in the car? How quick can you lap around here at the moment?
At the moment I'm doing it 12s. In my view, the car should be doing 8s, which would put it as an outright lap record holder. We took it to Willow Bank in Queensland, and we lowered the record there by about a second on the short circuit. Potentially, if we spend some time sorting the car, I'd say it's still probably Australia's fastest car.
Tell us about the motivation in the back of it. It's a Chev powered car.
Yeah, it's a 5.8 litre Chev engine. It's not a good engine. It's an engine that's got some problems. We're just running with that engine for the time being, but we've got a new engine being built for it to take it to where it should be. It's very old. The technology in the engine's quite old, and yeah, it's not in such good shape. In fact, at the minute, it's on the dyno. It's got 501 horsepower, wringing wet. So, it's nowhere near what the sort of horsepower the car ran previously. And it is limited a little bit with the transmission. We need to keep the horsepower under 600 horsepower to retain any reliability with the transmission. So we'll build an engine for it that develops around 580, which these days is very easy to achieve. Technology's come a long way. An engine like that could develop 750, so we'll detune an engine for it, something that'll last.
What are your plans for the car?
We'll get on top of the car, get a handle on what it likes and what it doesn't like. I'm still learning the car very much, and being quite honest, I'm still a bit rough around the edges myself too, so it'll take me a while to get the best out of the car. Once I've got a good handle on the car, we intend to take the car to Europe.
We'll certainly get a lot of attention over there. The car was well known for being a very good handling car, having an awful lot of downforce. I suppose Sandown not really the ideal place for something like that. You're looking for something like Phillip Island, something more sort of open and fast flowing.
The car likes a lot of wing, and the problem we've got is the engine being so doughy, and it's also got a bit of a hole in the torque curve, which doesn't help matters. As soon as we turn the wing up, we slow the car down 10 miles per hour. And it really doesn't like running without a lot of wing for whatever reason. That's one of the things we want to try and understand a little bit better. I mean, in the old days, the car was so much quicker than everything else, the boys didn't really need to worry too much about it, but these days our interest is outright records for the car, so we really do need to try and get as much out of it as we can.
You said you'd be interested in taking the car overseas. Do you have any specific events planned?
Nothing planned at this stage. Probably one of the circuits in England would be our preference.
Thanks for watching the In Pit Lane podcast. Remember, stay tuned to the podcast. Over the next few months, we'll have lots of action, including reports from the Sandown GT Classic, Island Magic, Formula SAE Australia, and much, much more. Remember also the In Pit Lane website, www.pitlanepr.com/In Pit Lane. And keep your eyes peeled for a brand new website coming soon in 2008. Until then, from the historic Sandown, I'm Brett Ramsey saying thanks for joining us. Bye for now. In Pit Lane, proudly brought to you by Rally Drive, where you get to experience the thrill of driving a championship-winning rally car.